Hey, LA Progressive family and friends. Right now, we're going to be talking to a handsome young man named Wade Kyle. Full disclosure, he is my son. And Wade's going to talk to us about the California Democratic Party Assembly District Election. It's also called ADEM. So in the next few days, coming weeks, there's going to be an election. It's a special election, and Wade is running for, well, Wade, why don't you tell us which district and where that district is, and tell us a little bit what you know.
All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm running for ADEM's AD 66, which is the area in which I live. And it's basically kind of a South Bay area with parts of Torrance, parts of Palos Verdes, parts of Redondo Beach, and parts of Manhattan Beach. And basically, I'm running for the ADEMs in this area. I've already been elected through the local central committee, part of the Democratic Party. Had a lot of fun with that, done that for about 6 years now, and want to learn a little more about how the Democratic Party functions through the ADEM process. And so the ADEM process is your assembly district elections meeting, and they get a little deeper into the planning of the elections, planning of endorsements, and it's throughout the state. It's not just locally. And so it was a good opportunity to work together with other progressives, plan together with other progressives, kind of lead the Democratic Party in a different kind of way. And so it was a good opportunity just to see how that functions.
Great, that sounds great. It sounds exciting. I'm glad that you're getting involved because obviously I'm LA Progressive and you are also a writer for the LA Progressive. But in addition to the work that you've done with LA Progressive, you are an educator. So what have you been doing? I mean, what do you do for your daytime career?
All right, well, I'm an educator and I'm with UTLA, have my UTLA shirt on. And, it's funny because you're a progressive and I'm a progressive, but I've come late into the progressive game. And it's really through the leadership of my union and UTLA, which has really brought me into the progressive fold. Learning from the other teachers, learning what impacts students, learning what impacts families. It took time. And it took time to really experience it and look and watch and see how things don't change over time, how there's a corporate agenda, which they say one thing, but then the outcome is no change. And so as a progressive and listening to the progressives who have been frustrated with the system, have really been a part of the system and really want to change how things work. Well, that took time to figure it out. And UTLA being one of the leader of the progressive community, we've really worked hard to change the status quo within LA, but also within the state. We network up and down the state, and we do a real good job with trying to do what's best for the people, really. That's really what it comes down to. As a classroom teacher, when you're dealing with your students and you're dealing with the families, doing what's best for the people you work with on a daily basis. And so that's what's really brought me into kind of the progressive fold, I guess. And really what we do with the union is I'm the PACE chair or the PAC chair of the union. And we work on trying to help getting other progressives elected to school board, number one, but also elected in other parts of the city's governance.
So what does PACE mean? What does PACE stand for?
Your PACE is your fundraising mechanism of whatever organization you're in. And basically it's
a political action.
It's your political action committee, but technically for UTLA, we have the political action committee of educators because we're all teachers. And that's so right. It's a little different from what the acronym is, a little bit different from the PAC, but it functions like a PAC. And it's part of the UTLA's political arm.
I'm really excited about you being as involved as you have been with UTLA because I've been a progressive all along. But, as your mom, of course, obviously you're not going to listen to me. But when you got involved in UTLA, that really helped you to see the light. So UTLA is the United Teachers of Los Angeles, and it's for LAUSD, right? Los Angeles Unified School District.
That is correct, right? It's the teachers union within Los Angeles Unified School District. There are other ways to be teachers within the district, but the main way to be an active part of the union, to having your good jobs with your contract really laid out, negotiated with the district, you would have to become a UTLA member.
So as a result of you being a teacher, would you say that your experience as a teacher has informed you in terms of having sort of boots on the ground or boots in the classroom with seeing the needs of young people in Los Angeles?
So, the boots on the ground, it's so tricky because being my mom, having great parents who have been progressive parents, you guys have talked about progressive issues growing up, but I never saw it in play until I started teaching. And as you know, I went into teaching without the intent of actually being a teacher. I went into teaching with the intent of going to a master's program in business. I had planned to go into business with my master's degree.
Right, and you wanted to earn a living so that you could pay for your master's degree.
Had to pay my bills just like everyone else. But once I started teaching, number one, the kids really took a liking to me. And as a teacher, it's real easy to take a liking to the kids. But then also the families were coming back to me year after year, asking me to stick around. And that really kind of lit a fire under me to really realize that I've got to give back to the community that I'm serving. They're asking me to be there. I'm there. We're working together after school. We're working together before school. And there really was a need for Black educators because in the area that I worked, which was kind of off of Crenshaw and Martin Luther King, it was a predominantly Black neighborhood and there weren't a lot of Black teachers. And so a lot of the Black families would come to our school, bring their kids to the school, and we would just talk about, how to navigate the school system, how to prepare their kids to do better within elementary school, middle school, high school, talk about some of the local schools. And year after year, they'd come back, they'd bring they'd bring their kids, their cousins. It branched out to the Latino families in the neighborhood. Parents who didn't agree with me at the very beginning would, by the end of the school year, we'd become buddies, bringing their kids in, bringing their families in. I'd have people bringing in cousins saying, this is my prima. I want her to be in your class, and then tell the kid who's like 6 years old, listen to the maestro. He'll take care of you, and then we would just move forward and really have really a wonderful school experience. I look back at those years. I've been teaching over 20 years, and they were so important. Not only just the academics that you teach, but really it's how to function as a community because those families lived together in that neighborhood. They played together in that neighborhood. Their kids and cousins were all growing up together, Black and brown, in that neighborhood. And they all knew each other. So some of the really important parts of having to get along and how to respect each other was laid down in the elementary school. And it was important. And those students, some of them are still together to this day. I can go find them on Facebook. I see them at each other's birthday parties. They'll see each other once a year. And they're all doing different things now with their lives. But it's great. Even one of them reached out to me on Instagram and was like, Mr. Kyle, guess who this is? And I was like, whoa, right? Yeah, Tracy Sarpong. And then she had a kid and all this. Some of them gone to the military. It's been pretty amazing. And so that's part of the other part of, why I stuck around. It's really, meeting the needs of the people, learning what the people need. And it always came back to what you spoke about. Taking care of people at the most people basis, just looking at what individuals need.
At the fundamental levels.
Fundamental level. And that played itself out in the Bernie years with the universal health care. And so many families needed it. And it also plays itself to even families with papers, without papers, we all need health care, regardless. And so that was one of the things that really stuck with me over the years and really makes me, really makes the progressive values alluring to me because it helps the families that I work with. And you see immediately the impact that it has on families to have quality health care, from pregnancy through death. You need it. It's right. Everybody.
Womb to tomb.
Womb to tomb. There you go. Womb to tomb. Everybody needs it.
That's right.
And so that is one of the things that really played itself out into why I stick around, why progressive values are important to me. Not to mention the need of a quality public education.
Yeah.
As we get
Yeah.
more diversified in our education possibilities, number one is public education, because every family in the community depends on it. And anything other than that is optional. Other people will choose other routes, but really you need a quality education. You want to raise the bottom up, and that will bring everybody higher up and have a better quality and have more options in life. More options for jobs, more options for going to school, career, informed for healthcare. There's all kinds of issues that plays out that when I was younger, I didn't realize they were that important. Now, as an older teacher, I'm like, wow, we should have gotten deeper into some of these issues.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, I'm very proud of you. I'm really proud of what you've learned, even after growing up and going to college. You did go on and get your master's degree, but not in business. But I'm glad that you do have that master's degree, because I think it has made you a much finer teacher. So this ADEM election, for people who are not party insiders, many people think, what? I've got to register for another election?
So it's tricky. And as we call it, insider politics can get a little tricky. So there have been various stages of being able to vote in this ADEM's election. The first stage was the mail-in ballot, and that is actually already passed. The deadline for that has come and gone. Yeah. We tried to get the message out to as many people as possible to register for a mail-in ballot, just to make it easy for people. You can vote from inside your own house. You don't got to go anywhere. Fill it out, mail it in. Mail-in ballot is always the easiest way. But there are other stages of the election. You can also you can vote in person. And each ADEM is almost like its own little region. There's over 70 different regions, and my region is number 66. And each region has a very specific area that you are supposed to go in and vote in person. It's also an opportunity for the candidates like myself to be standing, over 100 feet away from the polling station. But you're going to stand there and probably say, hey, vote for me. My name's Wade Kyle. This is my team that I'm working with, my progressive group of people who are looking to protect healthcare for everyone, have stronger public education, and protect the environment. We're all working together on a slate. And so it's an opportunity for us to show up to really try to get extra votes as people are coming into the voter station. But there are challenges to that.
All right. Well, I just got an email from the California Democratic Party, and it says, due to weather conditions, some ADEM meeting dates have been delayed. To stay up to date with the most current ADEM meeting dates, please visit www.adem.cadm.org/where-to-vote. And I'm going to put a link in that at the bottom of this video. It says, in the meantime, you can still register for an in-person voting, just like you said, Wade, in-person voting. The registration closes on January the 22nd. So today's January the 6th. So people have until January the 22nd to still register to vote in the ADEM if you want to vote in person. But if you do want to vote by mail, the deadline to register for that was December the 31st.
Right, that's already.
It's already passed. So we're going to be putting links to all of this information. I just checked the California Democratic Party website, and they have not yet posted the locations for each of these assembly district meeting in-person meetings. The locations have not, the addresses haven't been posted yet.
And just to clarify, some have been posted, but some have not. And
well, where are they posted? Because
have been posted. What you have to do is you go on and you look for your specific assembly district. You put that in, and then it'll highlight a specific area within the city that you can vote.
All right. Okay. So then we'll put a link to that also down at the bottom once I post this video. Well, Wade, thank you for sharing some fascinating information about yourself, about your fellow slate of ADEM representatives, and I wish you all luck, but I'm very excited that young people like yourself and others are giving the progressive agenda some serious attention, because this is a time like no other. We don't have time to mess around. The environment is reaching like seriously critical conditions. I mean, the weather in Northern California, oh my gosh, these extreme weather conditions are each year, they get worse.
And, you know, our slate is the People Over Profit slate for AD 66. And, you know, we were just recently talking about, you know, every year with climate control, things have gotten worse. And it has to do with just people prioritizing profits over the environment. And by paving down your cities, putting, you know, concrete and asphalt where trees should be, which would normally not suck up some of this water, but prevent the over flooding. And by not really investing in the infrastructure of cities, but by building up, you know, really trying to expand the number of houses in an area that doesn't have the support for that, with the streets cleanings. That's always in some of these areas where, you know, we have the lowest economics in the city, which are going to get flooded. And all the water will go downhill, and it really winds up in those areas where a lot of our Black and brown students have to go to school. And it's difficult, you know, but it needs to be addressed and needs to be looked at. And, you know, I said, moving forward, that is one of our priorities, you know, making sure we have environmental controls and really stronger environmental policies to help public education, but also just to help everyone.
Great. Well, thanks again, Wade.
And thank you very much.
Thank you for supporting the LA Progressive. So long.
Thank you, LA Progressive. Thank you, Mom. And I will talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.